Hey, welcome to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, broadcasting you live from Fishbowl Studios here in beautiful Bedford, Texas. We are powered by the OBBM Network and sponsored by Glen, Larson Law, accident and injury attorneys, man. If you need an attorney, call Glen Larson, man. He's more than that. He's a friend, man. You got to have him in your pocket,
The
brother.
Wolfpack.
The Wolfpack, which we're going to have part of the Wolfpack on here later on in the show. And Glen's stuck in traffic. He's going to be coming down.
Yeah.
He's going to be coming down.
It's crazy out there today.
It is, man. The
nice
traffic
weather
is
brought
real nice.
everybody out.
Man,
It's like 80 degrees.
can you believe that we went from like 0 degrees?
Well, Texas is bipolar.
Yeah, man. Finally, she got on her meds.
Well, I don't know about that. She's just having a good day.
She's having a good day. Hey, so I did a thing this weekend.
Oh, no.
And I got to give a big shout out to
I
Texas
did.
Harley Davidson,
Yes.
man. Wow. Let me tell you something. Ryan and Travis over at Texas Harley Davidson. I went in there on Friday night. Me and Tigger went in there on Friday night. We're just gonna
Date night.
huh? Date night at Harley.
Go
Yeah,
pick you out something special, baby. Might go look at bikes.
I'm gonna go get you a blessing bell,
Yeah.
But we were down at Texas Harley, and it was just before closing because she got off late. So we're like, we'll just go hang out. And we went over there, and I said, let's take a look at some of the trikes.
Mhm.
I'm going to trade in my bike. I had an Ultra Classic. I'm like, let me trade, maybe look at an upgrade, So we start bullshitting and we're talking. And first thing he goes, hey, you guys want a beer? We're about to close. You want a beer? Hey, that sealed the deal right
beer
there,
always leads to decisions.
all the inhibitions ran out of you,
Mhm.
But there was like 4 or 5 different trikes there. And we started talking, and I saw one that I really, really liked. Tigger sat on it. She fell in love with it immediately.
Well, once the girl sits on it,
Yeah, she was like, this is me. I'm like, all right. So I was like, well, we'll talk next week. I'll bring in my bike and the whole bit.
Mhm.
Man, that didn't happen.
You didn't make it to next week.
We sat down at the table, man, and I got to tell you, it couldn't have gone smoother. He was just like, took down some information. He took down what my bike was and the mileage on my bike. Sight unseen, he offered me almost above market value for my bike. I mean, sight unseen. God bless you guys. And came up with some great numbers to work with that are affordable. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do this. And all of a sudden he's like, all right, pick it up tomorrow. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, come on down tomorrow. So I went the next day, man. And
Tigger's behind the scenes going,
yeah. Yeah. And, it is a blessing, man. I took it home Saturday and I've been riding it. I mean, it was a little getting used to a trike.
It's a different ride.
It's a different ride, but
ride.
It was fantastic. But you know what? The experience I had at Texas Harley Davidson was probably one of the most memorable experiences. Those guys were great. I bought my first bike there when it was Penny Cycle, when Adam Smith had Penny Cycle. Bought my Ultra Classic back in 2012 back then, and now I bought this. So man, it was great.
Well, it was a birthday gift for you. It was his birthday.
No, it was not my birthday gift. It was not.
Birthday.
Tigger's calling it my birthday gift. She's like, oh, I can get away with a bike for his birthday.
Anytime you have an expensive gift anywhere near your birthday, it's your birthday gift.
Yeah, but once again,
I've already got Springer cover for the next 5 years.
Would you buy him a bike?
I helped.
I helped. What are you like?
Listen, details. We're not getting details.
Yeah. Was that like what is that?
Next.
that home that lady who was cooking said, "Oh, I made this stuff and I helped." The little kid, I helped.
Yeah.
I'll be on your time. On your time. But thanks again, Texas Harley Davidson, man. You guys rock. Visit Texas Harley Davidson right here in Bedford, not far from the studio, right here on 183, man. And check out go to Ryan and Travis. Actually, anybody in the whole staff, they were all fantastic. They gave my grand babies. They were like, "Oh, you get a T-shirt." I'm like, "I don't need another T-shirt." I said, "But they were like, well, how about the grandkids?" I'm like, "Yeah, my grandkids would love it." So my granddaughter got a Harley shirt. My grandson got a Harley hat.
Hey,
really cool.
That's $200 right there.
Hell yeah, man. Hell. So we got a great show for you today. We got to have Lori Montoya coming up soon with Biker Down. Then we got the Mongo Log later on. Hopefully, we have some better connections from there, California.
Yeah,
but
it's California.
Let's talk about real quick. Your pancake fly-in that's coming in.
Yeah, so
right?
actually we're preparing for that because Rosie the Riveter month is right now. And so this Saturday, me and the girls, the Battling Buddies, are going to be going to the Rosie the Riveter garden and cleaning it
Say
up.
that 10 times
I know
fast.
that's hard. And cleaning it up. We're gonna do that. It's not an event, but we're gonna go out and get our fingernails dirty and all that stuff, doing some gardening. But then we have our pancake breakfast, which is March 22nd. It's going to be at the Vintage Flying Museum, which is 505. I'll have it posted. It's in Fort Worth. It's a pancake breakfast. You go there, it's donations. You sit down. It's with all the old like airplanes at an old airport.
Nice.
The Bettys are going to be there. We're going to be dressed up as Rosie the Riveter and all that good stuff.
Cool.
And yeah, it's
you guys are going to be all jacked up, showing.
Well, I'm working on my arms now.
Little late.
I don't know.
Really? You got till what? March 22nd.
Yeah, I got a little bit of time. I got some
there you
cans,
go. Let's say hello to some of our people that are tuning in. I want to thank everybody. Judy Lamp, Deborah Johnson. There she is. Your mama. And it's your birthday. Donna Young, all the way from New York. Jamie Pete and LJ, who's going to be our guest at around 3:30. He is on and waiting patiently. And you know what, Deborah? I know your daughter doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to sing. But you know what? It's a tradition at the 99 to sing happy birthday. And you're a leap year baby. So we are going to sing happy birthday to Deborah. You ready? No lip singing. No lip singing. Get into the zone. Get into the zone.
All right. This is
you ready?
For you, Deborah.
You ready?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Poodles. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Yeah, and we got Pete Colley all the way in the UK is watching. Thank you, Pete, for tuning in.
It was his birthday recently, too.
Yes.
But we're not singing again.
All right, so take that Pete, rewind that last one.
We'll edit
it. And that song goes to you. Just go Stitch instead of Poodles. And that's it. Thank you, 99. Recap of last week. Last week's show was amazing with Mike Kislak, former Dallas Cowboy, Tattoo Mark with his little Dallas Cowboy trans stamp, Aaron and everybody else that showed up. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I was doing the editing for OBBM. It's going to be on OBBM this week. Man, catch that replay. It was so much fun. Mike really made it a fun show, and we got a lot of stuff covered with all our foundations and upcoming events. So, what time we got? We got about 3:12. Is Lori on yet? Is she on? She is. Well, bring her on. Bring Lori onto screen. Bring Lori onto screen before her segment. We're going to talk to her for a little bit, see what she's got going on over in Colorado.
Am I on?
You're on, Lori. What's going on, baby doll?
I was trying to do my riveter.
she's doing a riveter. All right.
Nice.
Hey, you nailed the pose, baby. You nailed the pose.
There you go.
What's going on, Lori? How are you?
Strike a pose.
Strike a pose.
So how come I'm always nervous before this episode starts? I get like so nervous. I'm like, no, maybe I shouldn't do it this week.
You stop that.
You do it perfectly every week.
We're just
you shouldn't be nervous. I know being in the presence of Pitbull and myself makes you all nervous.
I'm telling you.
It's like royalty. It's like being around the queen and the king.
I'm telling you, I feel the same way.
Yeah, my sir, no.
So how have you guys been? Good?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, how's Colorado? How's the weather?
Actually, it looks like my husband can get back to landscaping to keep me in the lifestyle I've become accustomed to. And he's happy to get out of the house and do some work. So the snow's melting. One thing about Colorado is we have actually more sunshine than Florida, being a mile up. So, it's great that everybody's great here in Colorado. I'm leaving Friday to head back to Vegas for a few days and have some meetings and attend some events. And then next week I will be in Daytona.
You are going to Daytona, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Flying Pistons event, and my daughter's doing a hat bar, and we're going to get the message out about Biker Down to a lot of people. And what I thought I might do is try to do a video, because on Wednesday I'm actually flying home. So I thought maybe I'd try to compile a Daytona type of segment on Tuesday, and then because I'll be in the air when we're unless you want me on the plane, but That would be a little weird. But anyway, I'm really excited to go. I have family back there, so I'm going to get to
How long
spend
are you in Daytona for?
I'm only there Sunday through Wednesday, so it's another turn and burn. So
well, be sure to hook up with Johnny Rizzo with Motorcycle Mayhem. Him and his team are going to be down in Daytona this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I
I'm
will
gonna send
definitely
my mom
reach
out there. You find the crazy lady that Deborah. That's my mother. She lives.
Is Deborah your mother?
She lives. Yes.
She's definitely committed.
Oh, I'm like, how do you know already?
Yeah.
Lori, just run around Daytona going, Deborah!
Yeah, exactly. No, she friend requested me. She likes my stuff, and I'm like,
that's my mom.
I have no idea who Deborah is, but I love the energy.
Like, who's this lady? I'm like, that's my mom.
She's pretty cool. Listen,
she's good.
My mom doesn't have that energy to follow me on everything. She just always
she's
calls
like
me
social savvy for sure.
Yeah, my mom just goes, "Where are you? Where are you?" Like, I'm on a plane. I'm at the airport. So.
Yeah, just leave me alone, Mom.
Yeah. So I have a great guest for you guys today. Jeff Riley owns a motorcycle towing service.
Awesome.
He's been a long supporter of Biker Down from the standpoint of helping me offer a really valuable service to motorcycle riders. So I don't know if you can ask. I'm pretty sure Jeff's already on. But I think that riders, while they're probably go, oh, why do I need to listen to that? It's really amazing how many people you ride with that don't have true motorcycle towing on their bike and really understand the difference between having it through your insurance company and having a certified motorcycle tower. So I'm super excited to have him.
We're gonna get you and him up in 1 minute, right after a brief commercial break from our sponsor, Glen Larson, and then we'll bring.
Where is Glen?
Glen's coming in. He's right walking in the door now, man. Glen's walking in the door now. But we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to bring you up with your guest, and you're open. So just stand by. And here's a word from Glen Larson Law.
Hey, brother.
He was like, let me get to business.
The reason why I made the decision to found and open Glen Larson Law is for one simple reason. Every single client deserves to have their voice heard, their recovery made, and most of all, the closure and the compensation that they deserve. It has been my personal mission and personal dedication to making sure that every single thing we do with every ounce of loyalty, honor, certainty, and absolute unity to make sure that our client's story is told every single time. This is why I founded Glen Larson Law.
Me and Glen go way back. We first met in middle school. We were in high school together. We also worked together in college, waiting tables our first couple of years of school. And so we worked in the service industry together for a few years. So that kind of kept our tight bond together.
At Glen Larson Law Injury Attorneys, we are passionate about serving our clients by honoring their stories, their voices, and their recovery. Our firm is built on the foundational principles of honor, certainty, passion, unity, and loyalty. To achieve our vision, we uphold our loyalty to our clients, each other, ourselves, our families, and our clients' families and friends
in every single thing that we do.
We are dedicated to providing exceptional support and guidance, ensuring that every client's journey is respected and valued. With absolute certainty, we stand ready. Call us. We are here to serve you in your time of injury, to make sure that you receive the compensation, the closure, and most of all, that your story is told.
Hi, guys. This is Laurie Montoya, ready for another episode of Biker Chat. If John can hear me, you need to bring on Jeff. I'm bringing on today a guest named Jeff Riley, and he's president and founder of Motorcycle Towing Service. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Lori?
I'm hanging in there. Thank you for coming on today.
No problem.
One of the reasons I really wanted to have you on is, as you and I know, motorcycle towing is vitally important, not only in the event of an accident, but in the event of a breakdown. I think there's nothing more that can ruin a biker's road trip with his friends than to have a breakdown and not have motorcycle towing, and then having to come up with an awful lot of out-of-pocket expenses that could literally ruin your next trip to Daytona or your next trip to Sturgis. So you and I have been working together probably 8-9 years.
Yeah,
would you say?
Easily.
And one thing that you've really done for me is you've really provided tremendous value to our membership program. So I'd like you to tell everybody a little bit about what you do and kind of how you got started in this field.
Motorcycle Towing Services is basically a dedicated program for motorcycles and their riders. We cover them with roadside assistance. The company started in '88. The original owner broke down on his Goldwing in the middle of New Mexico, and the tow truck that he called came out with a greasy flatbed and a set of chains to hook up his Goldwing.
Oh.
So after he had a fit, he went into town, bought a trailer, and towed it himself, and that's how this all started. And now he's gone to rallies and signed up not only towing providers, but members into the system. Fast forward to now, I bought the company in 2016. I've worked for them since 2006. And we've expanded to regular memberships, groups, clubs, OEMs, and the largest rental fleet in the world, Eagle Rider Rentals.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
We cover everybody like that. We're unique. We have that niche in the market. We don't tow cars, trucks, vans, anything like that. We tow motorcycles. Anything from a scooter to a trike, if it's registered as a motorcycle, we tow it. We have our own database of providers that we build up through the years. Currently, we're around 3,500 providers across the United States and Canada.
And those are certified motorcycle towers. And
Correct.
what is, to our listeners, what is really a certified motorcycle tower?
Basically, the equipment. I mean, we vet them for two things. What kind of equipment do you have? Is it safe? Do we have to worry about damages, anything like that? And are they insured properly? Because we make sure they've got liability insurance and a business insurance, but we also make sure they've got on-hook coverage. Because if that truck gets in a wreck and the bike's damaged, if they don't have cargo insurance or on-hook, your bike's not covered.
So when I think of a certified motorcycle tower, because of my experience nationwide, many of the calls that I've seen and the people that I've met have I want to call it an easy go lift, but it's basically like on your flatbed, and then the lift comes down and you can push the bike onto the lift, you know, strap it down, and then it lifts back up and really takes care of one's motorcycle. Certainly, I understand that there can be a tower that might have a trailer and the chalk inside it and things like that. But do a lot of your motorcycle towers have that lift?
You're talking about an Amerideck.
Amerideck, I'm sorry.
And that is the gold standard for towing a motorcycle. If you're going to be a towing provider for motorcycles, you'd be crazy not to get it. Number one, it's easy to use. Number two, it's easy to load a bike. There's none of that here. You sit on it and hold it steady while I pull you up on the flatbed, something like that.
Right.
But we do have Sprinter vans that are set up to tow motorcycles, trailers, enclosed trailers, box trucks. They put these decks and stuff into just about anything.
Right.
And
So what does an average motorcycle tow cost? Say, because this week we're going up to Daytona. And you're going to have riders coming from, all over the country, but primarily your Southwest region. So if I'm, in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have a breakdown, how much is it going to be to get a bike towed or picked up?
in Florida, you can probably the average hookup rate, which means you call them and they come out to your location and hook it up. On average in Florida, that's $100.
Okay, and then how much per mile?
From there, it's anywhere from $4 to $7 a loaded mile.
Wow.
So,
okay, and Florida can be pretty spaced out. I know in Vegas and in Colorado, if I'm in Evergreen and somebody comes from Denver, Colorado, which to many of your viewers won't know how long that is, that could literally be a $400 or $500 tow.
yeah.
Because you not only have to pay, I have to pay for him to get to me in the mountains, but I have to pay for him to get back. So tell us a little bit about your membership, because the way I kind of want to close today is I want them to really see the value of what your membership brings. And then I also want to introduce them quickly to a little bit about the Biker Down membership, because what you do for Biker Down and other organizations is truly an amazing thing. And you really did that for Biker Down and for my followers and my members on faith. You went on my word, a handshake, or a check mark in an email. And you and I have never met, actually one-on-one.
No,
but we have a great working relationship, and you've never let my biker stranded. So tell us a little bit about your membership program.
If you get a membership to Biker Down, you get MTS. MTS is top plan for the general public is $300 coverage, which means if you break down, we'll come out and we'll pay the first $300 of that tow, whether it's the hook and mileage or flat rate, we will cover the first $300. Normally, that is enough to cover a tow. We have live dispatchers. The dispatchers call our providers live. So basically for a membership with Biker Down, they're getting 2 tows worth $300 a piece. So
they're getting $600 value for 2 hypothetically tows that they need for the wonderful price of $37.50 per year.
Correct.
Now there are instances where somebody may already, and we are so grateful for that. I don't want to ever discount that. I know that last week you did 2 tows in Las Vegas. I know Sue did Dazzlin and did another member, but let's just say you're further out, and let's say the driver or the biker has progressive towing or he has AAA towing. What would you suggest? Because I normally suggest that they call you first and have our guy come out, because most of your towers will be able to also bill progressive or other towing that you might have. So I kind of call that more of a stackable. Is that something that you find that a lot of people are able to do?
More people are savvy about it than others. And yeah, it is stackable. If you're choosing to go with another company like Progressive or AAA, and you want to call us to get it picked up and done right, and taken as far as $300 or take it, and then let them take over, that's totally up to you.
But can your motorcycle tower, aren't they usually also registered with a lot of those carriers that might be able to bill them?
Some of them are, but I've been talking to providers here lately, and a lot of them are dropping off from AAA,
Yeah.
Ajero, places like that, because the thing about MTS is we value a towing provider that has the right equipment to tow a motorcycle. AAA and the others really don't care.
And they're going to
They
send
tell you-
out anybody that's available, whether they have any experience. And, the truth of the matter is these bikes are our babies. This is an expensive sport. We spend a lot of money on it. And what I keep saying is that this is for $37.50. Why doesn't every motorcycle rider have the Biker Down roadside membership? Because it just gives you that added value of protection. I've had some riders that have had to buy 2 memberships because they exceeded their 2 per year. And then Dazzlin last year wanted to go on that 21-day ride. So she bought another membership. She saw the value of
Right.
making sure that she could. And that's the key with this, is making sure that one can get safely off the road. And not at the least amount of it, but the least amount of out of pocket. And it's just about preparation. It's about having an 800 number, having someone be able to come get you and get you safely off the road. I cringe every time on Facebook when I see a biker go, "Hey, has anybody got a trailer I could buy?" And they'll go spend $40 to eat lunch on that ride day, but they won't spend $37.50 a year. So Biker Down, just so everyone knows, we make maybe $9 or $10 a year on that membership, but we look at it as such a value for our members that it's so vitally important that everyone has it. I know we don't have much time, but tell us a little bit about how you and I met and how you decided to be a part of Biker Down.
Oh, I don't remember whether you called me or I called you. But
I think I called you because I was looking for someone, because we were self-funding.
Right.
And I had seen on, I think, AMA, American Motorcycle Association, and things like that you were on their website. And so I called you, and you were extremely polite, but you just immediately said, you could hear in my voice that we were getting a little bit big and I was having a hard time self-funding it. And you immediately gave me the network to be able to really take care of my bikers. And, we're going on our 15th year, and you've been with us almost half the time.
Right.
And I just can't thank you enough. And I would say to anybody that's listening, go to look up Motorcycle Towing Services. He's got a great program. It is a little bit more than what you get, but you also get, I believe, a few things that you might not get through our Biker Down membership. But if you are interested in Biker Down, please go to bikerdown.org/join-us and sign up for $37.50. You're getting ready to go to Daytona or a big ride. I can have you up in a matter of minutes. And Jeff, I just want to thank you for your years of loyalty, friendship, the stickers you send me, the things I throw in grab bags. You truly do care about our biker community and motorcycle safety. And I just wanted to thank you so very much for being a part of this today.
Well, you're very welcome. I think I remember we talked about Mark.
Monkey Mark, yeah.
When we met. It was a no-brainer for me. We're here to serve the motorcycle community. You are as well. And the stuff that you do for your members and even people that you don't have as a member, going out and helping them when they need it, it's just outstanding. And why wouldn't I want to be part of that? But
you mean a great deal to me. I want to thank you for being on. Hey, John, do you have any questions? Oh, John. Pitbull. I lost them.
Can you hear us? We hear you.
Oh, there they are. Do you guys have any questions?
We had our mics muted. Man, for $37 a month, you can't go wrong because
no, $37.50 a year.
$37.50 a year, and that's for the 2 toes, correct?
Right. Only $37.50 per year.
And to me, that's worth its weight in gold, because that's this added security you have anytime you go out on your bike, be it a breakdown, a flat tire, whatever it is, man, knowing that you have that, you can't beat that price.
Yeah, you just can't. I mean, you get $600 value for $37.50, and for Glen, it's an amazing giveaway. You could call Jeff and work out something with him, so you can offer it to some of your Texas riders. They make great giveaways for people's event and things for them to win. It really is just you'd be shocked, and I'm sure Glen would know this too, of how many times he speaks to an injured rider or their family, and they don't know where the bike is, or they need to get it towed somewhere, and it's just silly for people to not have this. So it's a vital part of our membership program, which is number one is safety. And there's a lot of memberships out there. You get a pin and you get a patch and whatever. With our membership levels, you get real true value.
I can send you a pin if you want one.
I'll send you a what?
I can send you a pin or a patch if you want one.
I'm pretty good on my pens and my patches. I got my bling ones here, but no, I would love to have some of your merchandise. I think
Pitbull saying we like free stuff. We'll take it. We'll take it.
I think Glen, what John and I want to talk to you about is possibly sponsoring an accident scene management class. We kind of covered that last week of the vitalness of having more of these riders trained on what to do in the event of an accident. We sure hope you'll be a part of it.
Right.
All right, guys.
All ears. If you want to get with me later and we'll talk about it.
That would be great. You're one of the hardest men on the planet to get a hold of for me, though.
Sometimes
I missed you in Vegas.
This winter has been a circus of things going on. I had shoulder replacement. I got pneumonia. I mean, worked from home a lot. But the thing to remember about this is, for the $37.50 you buy the biker down and you get our service, that service that we're providing to biker down, if you go on our website and try and buy that just from the general public, it's $95.
Wow. So not only are they getting $600 worth of value, but they're saving an extra $60. So guys, thank you guys so much. I've got to sign off here, so we can get more to this great show. And just thank you always for the opportunity to serve this community and to be a part of this show and to get the message out about true motorcycle safety. We sure appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Not a problem at all. Thank you very
get
much.
your contact information after the show.
Sounds good. Much love. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
All right. Bye.
Man, that is a good thing, man. You ever wonder, you don't want to break down on the side of the road, and it's just a pain in the ass. And AAA is going to come with a tow truck. They're not going to come to be able to pick up your bike,
Very true.
And from my side of that, sometimes the property damage part of it's the most confusing thing, right? And the insurance companies out there make it really complicated, way too much so. And we always say in our world, sometimes just getting the ball moving and getting a firm that will actually help with the property damage analysis of whether or not the motorcycle can be repaired or, heaven forbid, totaled or whatever the situation is. There's just so many tricks there. So just make sure that, there's legal rights there that need to be protected, and we can help with that too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that around the 4:00 hour when Rob gets on. Right now, we're going to play a little Bike It Down commercial, and then we're going to lead in with LJ, co-host of the Motorcycle Mayhem radio show, and Red Dawn Riders RC right after this.
Awesome.
I was in an accident 12 months ago to the day. I was driving on southbound Santa Fe, and somebody did a suicide left in front of me, and I T-boned him at 45 miles an hour. From that point forward, I don't remember anything for the next 18 days because I was in a coma.
She broke 9 bones, lacerated my spleen, put me in the hospital for 21 days. I remember none of it.
Biker Down was founded in 2011 after riding several rides over the summer and seeing tragically my friends get injured. And I felt that there was a need missing in Denver and in Colorado for an organization that helped the biker community. As you may know, the bikers are one of the most charitable entities out there. And what we do is provide them a variety of services such as medical equipment, financial assistance if necessary, and a plethora of resources to help them stay afloat during the hardest time of their life, which is their recovery. My biggest hope is that I'll never get another phone call that a biker's gone down. But, that's not realistic. So I think my true realistic dream is that we can help as many as we can help, because it is life-changing for them. Certainly donating and volunteering your time. And even if you can't do that, attend our events. Attend our event and get a $20 t-shirt for your $20. Those kind of things make a big difference in a small nonprofit like ours.
Welcome back to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. We got LJ from Motorcycle Mayhem, Red Dawn Riders. What's going on, brother?
Red Barn Riders. Red Barn Riders.
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn's a great movie.
Get it straight. Come on now.
I'm thinking of that movie Red Dawn, where all the kids, the apocalypse and everybody.
They pop out
Red
of the
Barn.
foxhole.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But the Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn was good. The remake, not so good. So,
what's going on, brother?
Doing good, man. The weather's finally starting to break over here. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're going to raise up his mic just a little bit. Yeah, you are in where? Around the Catskills, right?
Yeah, right in the Catskill area, like the lower part of the mountain. So we're right below the mountain, so we don't get the weather quite as bad, but it's been a chilly winter over here. It's been real chilly.
Makes it hard to ride, right?
Yeah, makes it really hard to ride. So, I got some injuries and everything. So a couple of years back, it's one of the reasons I moved upstate from Long Island. I was down there. I was in a club down there and had some great times and everything like that. But, it's harder to ride. Riding used to be like just natural, It was just I could ride for hundreds and hundreds of miles, without a break.
Yep.
And nowadays, I need breaks. So,
Hey, and listen, on March 12th, we're bringing in a biker who does all rehab therapy. He's with Anytime Fitness. He's going to show you what exercises to do those 100-mile rides and get off the bike without a backache and stuff, like certain small exercises that you can do to build up those back muscles. Yeah. Hey, brother, I just bought a trike because I'm getting too old to be sitting on those two wheels, man.
A lot of friends of mine keep suggesting it, but it's kind of tough, man. I mean, I love my motorcycle and I love riding and all. I'm thinking of, if I get some money, maybe I'll get a secondary bike, the trike for the bad days. But,
I was against it. I was really against it. And Tigger, my wife Tigger, she was just like, no, let's get it. And I was a little concerned about the way it, the difference in riding.
You gotta pull that thing.
But man, it drives beautiful. Drives like a car. I mean,
it's a Cadillac.
It
drives like a car. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I was at the Harley Davidson.
car.
I went to Harley Davidson's up here, and I'll tell you, they had a black trike there, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle. And I thought, man, you know what? I could look cool on that,
Oh, yeah. They got some cool trikes out there.
It was pretty cool, man.
But I got involved with the Red Barn Riders. I hadn't planned on joining any clubs. I was done. I thought I was done. I couldn't put the time and the dedication I'd put in the past and all that. And I was out at another event. I was helping out, and these guys showed up. And you ever watch the show The Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Imagine the Dukes of Hazzard rode motorcycles. You'd have the Red Barn Riders. I mean, so these guys show up, and I start talking with them, and I was just like,
don't tell me they were wearing Daisy Dukes.
No, they weren't wearing
Daisy Dukes. Another show.
I wouldn't have been quite as interested now. But these and I started talking to their president, and he started telling me about the club and all that. And I was like, all right, cool. And I thought, this is something I could support and all that. So I went to one of their events, and I remember thinking, like, I'll hang out with them. I'll see how they are, see if anybody's an asshole. If anybody's an asshole here, I'm not going to get involved with them. So I got there, and like everybody was cool. They didn't have a single asshole in the group, and I figured they needed one. So I started prospecting. So,
they always need one.
Yeah, you always need one. I figured, why not me?
That's it. That means you'll stand out. You'll stand out.
Oh yeah, they do. We do so much to help out, and it's really, really, really a good organization, and it's been growing. And to tell you, for me, it's like the little things. We do a lot of big things, but I remember the things that stand out was like the little girl who wanted slippers for Christmas, and the family couldn't afford, so we got her some toys and we got her those slippers. And she was so happy. I mean, we just do so many things. We help out other charity events. Like people will contact us and say, hey, we got this event going on. We need some manpower. And we all show up there and we have a great time,
And that's what it's all about, man. It's paying it forward. And, as we met through Motorcycle Mayhem and I started following you and the Red Barn Riders, I look at so many charity events that you guys do and giving back.
We do a lot. It's hard sometimes. We got to say no, man. And it sucks, but can't do everything. So.
You can't do everything, but you can do that one thing. And you know what? That inspires others to take, to do it as well. When they see what you're doing, they're like, wow, you know what? I can get my club to do this. Or maybe if I can give back a little bit. And, paying it forward is what basic humanity is all about. And that's what this show is. And that's what Motorcycle Mayhem is all about. It's about inspiring others to just be better human beings to each other. And the motorcycle community has proven that time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the coolest compliments we got was one of the big clubs. I'm not going to say any names. One of the big clubs in our area. And one of the members that come up to us and came up to my president and said to him, he said, hey, wanted to say hi and everything. He goes, you guys make us all look good. And I was like, wow, man, wow, what better compliment is that? So.
Yeah. Well, if you got 5 good guys or even 10 good guys, I'd rather do it with 5 good guys than 50 bad guys.
It's about quality,
absolutely,
not quantity.
Exactly, man.
Like I said, for the AMA club and all that, and we have a prospecting period. We look for people. Our biggest thing is we want to make sure people actually want to be there, that they're not just there to put a patch in the back.
Right.
And that's it. I mean, some people think, okay, these guys are a smaller club, they're AMA, they're an RC. Maybe I just walk in. People say, oh, I don't want to have to prospect. And I tell them all the time, like, that's the only thing you got to do. You want to be a member, that's it. You got to be a prospect. So
you got to go through it.
You got to do it.
You have to, because then you start just getting those bad apples that become lazy. Yeah, you got to weed them out.
We've had to weed a few out. You get people coming in and they just, you don't want that. But I got involved with as far as Motorcycle Mayhem. I knew Johnny here and there for years. And I was a guest on the show a lot. And then when he started Motorcycle Mayhem National, I jumped in with him and started doing that.
Yeah, Johnny is just a down-to-earth, great guy.
Johnny is a character. I love Johnny.
He's coming to Texas. He's coming to Texas in May. I can't wait to hang out and party with him. Are you going to Daytona with him?
No, I'm not. No. I got a lot of things I got to do up here. It's hard for me to travel and all that. I got some injuries and everything. So in the wintertime, I'd love to get out of this cold, believe me, and go down to Florida. It would help me a lot. But
you can come down to Texas.
Come down to Texas, man.
I'd love to.
Come
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
Texas is the way to go, man. Before I moved to Texas, we were deciding either Vegas, Florida.
I can see you in Vegas.
But I had 2 small kids. So I'm like, one's going to grow up to be a stripper and the other one's going to grow up to be a blackjack dealer. So,
but they both make money.
There you go.
Hey, they're doing pretty good for themselves.
But Texas was Texas.
The hardest thing for me is I just don't know how I'm going to feel from day to day. That's one of the hardest things, I could do a lot and all, but my injuries and everything. It's just I do good some days, and other days I just I'm just horrible.
And the weather has a lot of factor on that too.
It does. It really, you know what? It really does. You'd be surprised how many people don't realize that.
I got titanium all up my spine. I feel you.
It's tough. I do the DJ, and I'm a biker DJ in the area. I was a biker DJ on Long Island for many, many years. I got involved with DJ and DJ and entertainment style and all that. I was a roadie. When I was younger, I would roadie these different parties. And one of the owners had asked me one time, "Hey, I'm doing this event. Would you come with me and help me out?" So I went there. It was a gambling charity event, and he wound up getting drunk. So he asked me if I would. Imagine that. He asked me, "Hey, would you MC this for me? Just do the raffles." So I started doing the raffles, and he was like, "Oh my God, you can talk." And I was like, "Yeah, I told you that." He goes, "Everybody's thinking MC, you know." So after that, I started doing my own stuff. I bought a cheap set, and the next thing you know, I was doing biker events, and I did one event and another one, and people just kept hiring me.
That's awesome, man.
I love it.
Here on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs some music, man. Everybody needs music in their life, no matter what it is. Hey, you can come down to Texas. We want to spin some 40s and 50s for our pinup contest that we got coming in May, man. You come on down here and spin some Andrew sisters.
With a techno.
Well, also, I'm big in the 80s and 90s.
Techno doo-wop.
80s hair bands. Yeah, 80s hair. I got a little bit of doo-wop. But not a lot. 80s hair bands. I got a lot of 90s alternative and a lot of biker tunes. You know?
Speaking our language.
Yes. Did we not all grow up with all that?
Yes.
Yep. Hey, you guys just did an amazing interview with what's the name from from Skid Row, right?
I wasn't involved in that one, yeah, but I know Johnny did that. That was great, man. So Johnny has a lot of cool things, man. He gets to go to a lot of cool places. And years ago, I had a show, Biker Lowdown radio show. It was pretty big. I did for about 2.5 years. And then, unfortunately, one of my co-hosts, he died. He used to work with me on it and all that. He was killed in a bike accident. Oh. And I started doing the show afterwards, but I just couldn't. It was almost impossible to do it, you know. I started the show with him, and after he was gone, it was like,
yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Just not the same.
Just a reminder. So, you know, but hey, listen, you know.
How about writing? You write for Biker Magazine, right?
Yeah, I used to write I still do. I mean, I don't write as often as I used to, but I used to be published in about 50 different magazines all over the world, rather. I would do story and send it out. Sometimes I would cover events. Sometimes I would just write something that inspired me. And it was really cool back then because I got a lot of response and all that. But I still do it just on a smaller scale. Everything I still do the DJing on a smaller scale, you know, locally, and I still write for a lot of local magazines. So
that's cool, man.
But it depends what inspires me. Sometimes I'll walk into a restaurant and I'll just think I got to do a story on this place, you know.
Well, and that's where you got to keep your passion. And man, once we lose our passion and we lose our drive and we lose our motivation, then we might as well just sit on the couch in our underwear watching friggin' Judge Judy eating bonbons.
I already do that with Dateline.
You know?
Yeah, I do that some days. Some days.
You sit in your underwear eating bonbons?
Watching Dateline? Hell yeah, I do.
See, now that's an OnlyFans page. That should be.
There you go.
I mean, I would subscribe to that. I know LJ would, right?
I'm more a cookies and Family Guy type of guy, but you know, hey, you know, it's kind of the same thing, you know.
LJ, tell me about this Nathan's ride that's coming up on June.
In June, well, we do Nathan's ride every year. Nathan is a local boy. He's got a lot of he's got some mental issues. I don't know exactly what the proper terminology these days are. He's got brittle bone disease. He's in a wheelchair. He's about 11, 12 years old now. I mean, the kids that keep growing. And we've been doing it. It's kind of how the club got started, the Red Barn Riders. They started doing it before I was around. They knew the family needed help with the boy and all that and supplies and everything like that. And they started doing this ride. And it's been going on for 7 years. It's a great event. I mean, we get a huge turnout every year. And I tell everybody, when I first joined the club, I consider myself a really good salesman, you know? I consider myself really good at that. I went around trying to get spots for the back of the shirt, do a run shirt. And it was just like everybody I talked to was like, oh, yeah, we know about that event. The Red Barn Riders, great group, the Nathan's Ride and all that. And people just wanted to be a part of it. I mean, so it was just, these guys already had a great base already before I met them. And it's really grown. I mean, it's really grown, and it's just a great group. But the ride itself is phenomenal. If you've never been to the Catskills, my president, my vice president, my sergeant of arms, and road captain and all that, they know this area better than anybody. I mean, they constantly are taking me on rides where I can't believe the roads even exist, you know? So, and they're just great at planning rides. And then we have all these beautiful places. You can imagine up in the mountains around here, you know, we'll have an end site where we have a hangout, and it's just these beautiful, beautiful areas, you know? It's like,
when I lived on Long Island back, I mean, you know, back in the 70s when I was young, that was the place to go. My mother would be like, hey, we're going to the Catskills for the weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Load up the car with the kids and go see like one of these bad lounge singers at one of these resorts, you know? You'd walk into like one of these hotels and it'd be like this really like plush red velvet seats and stuff. It's like, and this
With
guy
the
would be
mirror
like,
on the ceiling.
yeah,
Okay.
and then like this guy would be just coming out swaying, trying to sing Frankie Valli or Frank Sinatra.
Barry Manilow.
Well, I grew up on Long Island too, and that was pretty much, this was my vacation area. I would come up here to ride,
Yeah.
Riding on Long Island's cool, but I mean, riding up here, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different thing. And
it's country riding. It's country
beautiful
riding.
up there.
Yeah, it's country riding.
Yeah. I love it. I love it up here.
Seasons down here, so we don't get a lot of visual scenery besides what they build.
Yeah, but you get out of the DFW area, you got some
Yeah,
beautiful
you
roads.
can.
You get stuck on a little bit of West Texas or a little bit down south, man. It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
but
it's not like the trees that you see up in the Upper East
Oh,
Coast
no,
and
no,
stuff
no.
like the visual,
Yeah, no.
landscape. I mean,
Right.
Or even like out in like Sturgis with like that, that time of year
Oh,
and
well.
everything. It's like,
Have you? I've never ridden in Sturgis.
haven't?
No, but riding through the Black Hills, and I
The
want to do that.
Needles,
Oh, it's got to be
beautiful.
gorgeous. Got to be gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm helping Brian with one of your guys' projects. He's working on the Walk the Bridge. Brian Horn.
Yes.
Brian's
Yes.
our reverend, great guy, my brother, and all that. And we call him Eclipse. If you ever meet him, you'll know why. And great guy. But he really likes that idea, And
Yeah, Brian-
he's running with it, and I'm helping him promote it.
Yeah, Brian reached out to me. We started the Walk the Bridge project about back in 2018. It was actually inspired by Jeffrey Gray. He's a Marine, and he would walk the bridge every month to remember his fallen brothers in arms and actually for his health. And we started doing it when I was back in that club, and it just went global. And now we do it in Rockwall, we do it in Fort Worth. We do it in multiple places in the UK. Does it? Destin, Florida, they do it. And now we're going to have Walk the Bridge in Catskills. It's a wonderful thing for those who are battling any type of stress or post-traumatic injury. And it's once a month you get out with like-minded individuals and you get to open up and be vulnerable and talk about and know that you're not alone in your daily stresses. And it's really helped a lot of people. I'm glad you guys are taking the ball and rolling with it. I can't wait to see this start.
One of the things I did want to ask you about that is I'm trying to figure out before it gets to, obviously you got next winter. I mean, we haven't even reached summer yet. But what do you guys do in your areas or in the areas that get like winter and all that? 'Cause I figure, 6
we
months of the
hunker
year.
down for a day and then we let it go away.
The way we look at it is I've walked in we've never missed a month over here. And if it's 1 degree,
it's not that bad.
if it's 1 degree or if it's 500 degrees, we're walking.
I have to give him credit.
I walk in any
out
degrees. My wife walks with me in any degree weather. Up in Montana, they walk in the coldest of weather. And the way we look at it, it takes about, depending on the walk, it takes maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes, right? When we look at our veterans and our first responders who are out there every single day, no matter what the weather, they will come and aid us no matter what the conditions are out there. We can sacrifice 30 minutes to 45 minutes once a month to honor them, no matter how cold it is, no matter how hot it is. We can do that. And it's just about, putting that mental mindset into yourself going, what if a law enforcement officer or if a veteran turned around and said, well, I'm not going to protect the country today because it's 10 degrees. Yeah. Or I'm not going to come to your house after you call 911 because it's too hot out. Or, we could sacrifice. And that's what it's all about. It's showing that sacrifice for those who serve us, and like I said,
so it's a year-round thing. It goes all
year-round thing, man.
All right, cool. It's good to know, man. That's good to know. I'm going to follow the rules. We're going to follow the rules over here.
Not
year-round. Because my concern was getting people together, and then in the wintertime it gets lonely up here.
that's a good way to get
I want to
people
keep
out.
the people together and sitting down. Maybe we'll do like a lunch or something afterwards. In the wintertime.
Do something.
I told Brian I'm going to send them out some. I'm going to buy him a box of American flags, and I'll send them out that you hand out to people. But here's the big thing with Walk the Bridge. Some days you'll have 50 people walking with you. Some days you'll have 10 people walking with you. Some days you're going to walk alone, but that's okay. Yeah. You know what? It's just repetition, consistency. The traffic sees you walking. They'll find out why you're walking and your presence there. As long as you walk for one person, the only time we will not make a walk is if it's too dangerous with lightning. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So if the weather conditions are extremely dangerous, we will not walk.
Okay.
But that's it, man.
Well, if you can, send me some literature on that too. So because I'm looking on our event page, I want to fill it up with more literature for that. And so anything you have that you could send me would be great.
All right, man. And like right now, we got Pete Colley from the UK is on. He walks the bridge over in the UK every month consistently. You know, sometimes they have 4 or 5 guys. Sometimes they have 20 guys. And, you know, it's about somebody else. And I'm glad you guys are taking on this mission.
Yeah, I mean, Brian's my brother. He's taking it on. And I told him, I said, I'll do whatever I can to help him, you know. So
I appreciate it.
Next one,
March 16th. Thank Brian. I'm just a guy who knows how to promote things.
Well, hey, listen, we all have our talents.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, some can promote, some can sell, some are good on a mic, some whatever it is, man. But you got to embrace everybody's talent, and that's what builds a good team.
I live my life by the A-team philosophy, man. The A-team. Remember the A-team? Yeah. Listen, not everybody was great with everything. You know, Murdoch flew the planes. You got to surround yourself with people who are strong when you're weak, you know, and you're strong when they're weak, you know. Hey, listen, sometimes it overlaps, and that's a great thing.
And you learn from those others. You learn from others that are have those talents, and you can pick up on them. There is no I in team, man.
No,
it's we can do things together.
And the best way to lead a team is knowing everybody's strengths and using them the way they need to. Instead of like, I know with chicks, they'll like, oh, well, that one, you know, don't have the grudge. Acknowledge the power that they have and the attributes that they can bring to the table, and everybody can rise. What is, you know?
Yeah, rising. Yeah, we don't want to say that.
Yeah, we won't. But everybody can work as a team.
Yep.
Everybody has something to bring to the table, and you just got to hone in on that.
Yeah,
and sometimes you got to help bring it out of them. I mean, I've met so many people over the years that have skills they didn't even know they had, and then they started doing things, and they just got really good at it. So
that's it, man.
But hey, listen, before I go and all that, I just want to give a shout out to the Red Barn Riders RC, my club. I love the group. I want to let everybody know, look us up on Facebook at Red Barn Riders. Just Google Red Barn Riders RC or whatever, search on Facebook. Or you can go to redbarnriders.org. That's O-R-G, redbarnriders.org. We always got something going on. And we're doing raffles. We have raffle tickets that we're doing and all that right now. We're raffling off the TV and everything. And we're doing that raffle because what we want to do is get a billboard for May. For May, we want to have a motorcycle safety and awareness billboard up. Tell everybody watch for motorcycles.
Yes.
We've had way too many, as I'm sure everywhere has.
That's right. I got to Zell you the money, and I'm going to blame that on Johnny. I was going to Zell you money, but Johnny hit me up just before Super Bowl, and he's like, "Here, buy these 2 tickets to the Super Bowl box." I'm like, I'm passing the buck on a Johnny.
Hey, I blame Johnny all the time, man.
But I will be sending you money for that because I want to be part of that road sign that you guys put up. I think that's a wonderful thing to watch out for bikes and what you're doing, man, because
there's just too many accidents around here and too many it's just happened a lot. It happens everywhere, like we know, but it's definitely happened a lot in the past couple of years, and we've had some big ones, and you know, just people not paying attention. It's that simple, you know, left turns, and you know, I don't want to blame it just all on drunk drivers. That's a big part of it. People just don't pay attention.
Drunk drivers, and there's
texting.
A lot of people that don't really know the rules of the road around in the area either.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are not from here and don't know the road. I mean, there's a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
Well,
but you got to keep your head on a swivel.
It's a big tourist area, so you get people coming up from out of the area, you know, and they just don't know where they're going, so they make turns without paying attention, without looking. And like I said, bikers from all over. This is a beautiful area.
The roundabouts are fucking people.
All right, brother.
The world come here. So.
Well, LJ, thank you so much, man. We'll get all your information out and on all the rides you got coming up for support. I want to thank you and thank Motorcycle Mayhem and the Red Barn Riders for everything. I appreciate everything you're doing, and we're going to get that up for the donation for the road sign as well.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Keep up the good work.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. You guys too. Be well.
Take care. You know, accidents happen, and you know what? That's exactly it. And you know what? That's why our sponsor, and we're going to play ad 2 right in a minute before we before we bring on the other one from Biker Wolfpack. accidents happen. We can't predict them. But we want to be prepared. We want to be prepared for anything. And when you contact Glen Larson Law, you are going to be treated with an experienced team of lawyers that are going to be right at your side. 100%, 24 hours a day, be it a motorcycle accident, car accident, slip, trip, and fall, or occupational, whatever it is. It's almost like having an insurance policy. Type in Glen Larson's phone number into your phone.
Word.
Huh?
Watch the bad word of insurance. We don't like the insurance companies.
No. But you will fight against these. You know what? I'm having issues with my insurance companies, but you know what? When you have a lawyer that knows what he's doing,
absolutely,
they will beat that insurance company and get you what you are owed or what's due for you.
Right, and the biker language, the biker lingo. Bikers and stuff like. Absolutely. It's not like just
And we know how they're biased. And no, I'm kidding. We know how the insurance companies, it's been a long week. We know how the insurance companies are biased against them. Right. And unfortunately, I know a lot about that culture that's counterculture to the motorcyclists. Mm-hmm. And there's so much stereotypes against, those that oftentimes I even see, investigations done because insurance companies know that when a biker goes down, the injuries are pretty catastrophic, usually. And so they have think tanks out there that are designed to create marketing that is anti-biker.
Boo!
So just saying, but call us. We're here to help. Yes. And, Robert and I are going to take care of you. So,
yes. And here's a message from Glen Larson Law.
Thank you.
What we believe in at Glen Larson Law is doing one thing and doing it really well. When I meet people, I always tell them we're going to uncover every single rock possible. That's the medical component, that's your story, and your voice.
We've solely focused on personal injury, whether that be a slip and fall accident or a commercial 18-wheeler, a motorcycle or DWI, motor vehicle accident. We specialize in that and that only.
When someone says, my neck really hurts, I know exactly how that feels. There's so much more to an injury case dealing with the pain level that people go through and how it affects their lives. And I know how to advocate to make sure that the insurance companies take all of that in consideration in every case.
We're very transparent and open to always keep them informed and stay on top of their case at all times.
Because we're a little bit smaller in team numbers, we're able to really dive into every single case and develop not only a client relationship, but a friendship and a lifelong connection.
We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll meet you anywhere, at the scene, in the hospital, at your home. Whatever's best for the client, we will do every single time.
There is a connection component that I believe our firm is committed to. We want to be connected with you and your family beyond this case so that you know that you have a lifelong partner, not just a case, but a lifelong connection and a lifelong voice. And we look forward to serving you.
Welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, man. We are bringing in Robert Howell of Biker Wolfpack and Sun God Graphics.
Say that 3 times fast.
Woo, that's a tongue twister. What's going on, Rob?
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Oh, doing good. Staying busy.
That's good. That's good. You know, I was on your website, and there's so much I want to talk to you about the graphic design and how it all started. But let's really, because I got Glen here, let's jump really right into Biker Wolfpack.
Yeah, I mean, that all kind of started from art too, right? Like Glen found me. He's a big supporter of art. He's got artists in his family and everything, and he found me at some motorcycle events, stuff like that, and just said he was wanting to, bring someone on that could kind of be that bridge between the motorcycle riding community and him, because he's obviously a lawyer and he's got things to do and work, and he can't be out there at all the events all the time and really reach the community. So he reached out to me, and we've been partners now for a while, and it's been a good time.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been doing your graphic art?
Oh man, I've been doing that. I think we're going on. I kind of started the business in '93, my senior year in high school. So,
wow, I was saying, you look young. I'm like 93. How long ago is that? I mean, it's 25 years ago. You don't look that old,
man. Yeah, 30 years ago. That's a 31.
30 years ago.
Robert's got a big birthday coming up in April.
I know, I do.
5 and ends with a 0.
Oh, so. You're not 50 years old, man.
I am gonna be 50.
God, he looks like a kid. He looks like a kid. See,
it's all that clean living.
That's
clean
right.
Living.
It's that good life of. See, it's stress-free living, man. That makes you look like you're 30 years old.
See, it's like graphic. I have a graphic design degree, and that's what keeps us.
Yeah, but yours came with Walmart and a
That's
box.
right.
Mine came from Kansas University.
So let me.
Man, I've been an artist my whole life, so it just kind of took off from there.
I need to just say something about Robert's work. He's very modest in his custom paint work. However, recently when I was at SEMA with Robert, which is the largest, collection of automotive and motorcycle parts from all over the world, aftermarket in Las Vegas convention, he is one of the premier custom painters in the entire world.
And he won't.
Period.
And he won't take that compliment. And
his work it's like if you were playing baseball and somebody, I play for a team, and then you found out like they pitch for the Dodgers. That's basically what he is in the world of airbrush work and custom paint work and creativity, because a lot of artists can do stuff, but this guy, you can say, hey, can you make me oh yeah, cool, I can. He can take the business side of things and then merge it into art, and then take it at creative and on demand create something badass. I was there literally watching him do a live paint show just off of Fremont Street. And Robert, I mean, they were just making these artists do, things on the fly and just having like a jam session would be, right. And the stuff that they were able to create in a creative flow is amazing. And so that's why he and I like each other, because in our world, as artists of cases, we want to always bridge and support people. And so, Robert, your work is great. I know you haven't got to paint your motorcycle yet for us, but man, tell us more about some of the projects you got going on, or anything you really want to do about Sun God Graphics, because enough about Glen Larson Law. My stuff speaks for itself, but this is about you, Robert, and Sun God Graphics. This is his business, and it's badass, and I'll support it to the day I've
That's passion, man. That is passion.
I know, right?
You know what?
Go ahead.
This lawyer will fight for you in court, and he'll fight for you.
We want to hear about Robert. It's all about you, man.
Exactly.
You got the deal here. So,
I mean,
put your own horn, man.
I mean, you know how good I am at that. I'm staying busy. I mean, I got some big projects coming up. I got a couple bikes in the works. But we do have, Glenn and I bought the first bike for the firm. We got a Road King, an all black murdered out Road King, and we're going to brand it up. And I'm looking forward to that, because luckily for me, Glenn already had, the wolf and stuff as his kind of brand. And so I'm looking forward to it. We'll do some sick, mean ass looking wolves on the side of it and stuff like that. And
very cool. Very cool.
And that's what's cool, man. Glenn's good to me, man, because he just, he trusts me. I trust him. And he just was like, man, do something fucking cool. So.
On your website, you do some amazing work. I see you're a big hockey player. You love hockey.
Absolutely. I am. Yes, I am. Goalie
helmets. The goalie helmets are.
That's a thing. Yeah.
They are. I mean, beyond amazing. If I was a goalie, if I knew how to play hockey and I was a goalie, I'd be like, I want that helmet, because they are just magnificent, man. They are.
Yeah.
And if you watch TV, like if you're watch the NHL, you'll see some of Robert's work on
really?
Those masks. I'm not gonna I don't know what I'm break any rules here, but his masks are on those goalies in
Wow.
the NHL, some of them, and others too. So just saying as an
Yeah, I
example.
grew up playing hockey. I'm from the North originally, and just kind of, I was always an artist, and I wanted to get my mask painted, and just decided it'd be easier to do it myself. And I mean, kind of been a lifelong dream, and it's just progressed into this. We're at the point right now, probably 60% of my business is doing goalie masks, either for NHL, NCAA, all the way down to doing little kids masks. It cracks me up. Some of these parents will pay to
Yeah.
have their little kids masks done.
But kids
charge
love
them
that.
a lot.
Kids want to
Yeah.
emulate their heroes on the rink, on the ice.
Absolutely.
So that they want to get that stuff all painted. They want to look cool in the net.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
and it's an investment in art. It's an art. I mean, I have a couple kids that I've been painting for since they were 7, 8 years old, and now they're seniors in high school. And so their parents just tell me, "Oh yeah, we've got 6 or 7 masks up on a shelf in the living room," and they just, once they're done with them, we move on to the next one, and they like to display them, so it's always fun.
Yeah.
And so, Robert, how
Yeah,
have you,
right.
how have you transferred those skills into the world of motorcycles? And if anybody's interested out there and wants to reach out to you about a custom paint project for their motorcycle, how can they reach out to you? And can you describe that process? And I mean, I know you're,
Yeah,
but what's that process in the world of
well, and
motorcycles?
my trip into that world was just, I mean, I grew up with motorcycle riders, right? My parents both rode, still ride. My dad still rides a lot, and so of course I fell in love with it, and I ride, and same type of thing. I wanted to brand my bike. I wanted to paint it up, and so people would see it, and then they'd ask me, and so then I started doing shows and doing all that stuff, and it's I take on jobs as I can fit them in. So anytime people reach out to me, I always just tell them, if you look up Sun God Graphics, it's usually the first thing that pops up on Google or anything. I'm on Instagram. I have a website, but I'm horrible about updating it. I don't think I've updated that thing in like 4 or 5 years. So that's on my project list. But Instagram, Facebook, I'm on there. And yeah, I have people reach out to me, and we can discuss their project. And it doesn't have to be local. I do stuff, all over Texas, but I have people send me parts from California, Arizona, all kinds of places, Florida. So
Sure. And you also do, in
Instruments.
some instances, customized painted motorcycle helmets too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All kinds of graphics or
Oh, you can do a hockey
different
helmet.
things or whatever. So those skills transfer to that. I know I've seen you do a few things in that world too.
And
so.
construction
Yeah.
helmets. I saw some of the construction helmets you did. With an eagle and an American flag in it. Because a lot of people on the construction sites love their, they don't want that regular just brown helmet. They
It
want.
doesn't go with my shoes.
doesn't go with my orange vest.
Right.
But I saw a couple of guitars you painted as well. So there is no limit to what you can paint.
I tell people all the time, if it'll sit still long enough, I'll paint it.
Wow. You know what a caboodle is?
What's a
I don't
caboodle?
think so.
It's what a
Yeah.
six holder makeup in from the 80s and 90s. I want my caboodle painted.
It's got a hard
You
surface.
can do it.
Hard surface. It's like almost
Get
like
in
a
line.
saddlebag, like hard surface. Yeah, I would love a caboodle.
What do you want on it? Like?
I'll let artist choice.
Yeah, that's another thing. Do people usually come to you and say, "Hey, this is my idea, run with it," or do they come to you with
Here's
the
my
graphics already?
personality, do it.
It's a bit of both, man.
It's like a
And it
tattoo.
can be fun
artist.
either way. Yeah, I mean, and I've done that too. I was a tattoo artist, but yeah, I mean, I'll have some people that have a very, they have this in mind what they want, and we can do that. And then I have some people that, luckily, I've been doing this long enough, and people think I'm good enough or whatever. They'll just see my artwork and be like, "I like what you do, man. Do something cool," which can be fun. Sometimes it's like what I think is cool and what you think is cool might be two different things, but like
We've had that
most of
conversation.
the time, yeah, right. Yeah, I mean it's hit or miss. Goalies are funny. I mean, I've dealt with goalies my whole life. I'm a goalie, so some of them want to put like their whole life story on a mask, and you have to remind them that it's only as big as their head, and so you can't fit everything on
You're
there. But
13 years old. How much life have you
I know,
left?
right? Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah,
Like purple and turtles and
What is one of the hardest things? I know bikes are probably really tough for you to do because you got to take the pieces off. It's a lot of taping and stuff. What's one of the hardest projects you encountered that you were like, oh man, but you were really surprised when it came out as well as it did?
I actually did Bagger, And this project was kind of a nightmare from the beginning. And I won't talk about the shop today. Basically, they came to me. They had one, these big wheel baggers, like not just like a Harley bagger, but the big wheel with all the ground effects and everything. And so I was contacted, and they said, we got this bagger. The guy was ex-military. I'm a sucker for that. I'm always looking to help him. And a paint shop had painted it, and it wasn't a bad paint job, but they didn't do what he wanted. Now the guy was a contractor, and he was just wanting to get redone. And so we of course negotiated on price, and I definitely came down from what I wanted to do, mainly because he was a military guy and stuff. And in my head, they never really told me what it was, the bike was. I just said bagger. And so I'm picturing, like a Harley bagger. So maybe 9 parts, something, saddlebags, tank, fenders. They show up at my house, or the shop that I was at, with a trailer and 23 parts. 23 parts. It was like painting a car. There's so many parts.
Wow.
And and a lot of these parts, these guys, they put cheap fiberglass, Chinese made saddlebags on them. And I told the guy, I'm like, I bet these things aren't straight. And oh no, they're fine. And I ran a sander across them. You could just see the waves in the fiberglass and stuff. So just like body work to do. And yeah. I mean, so it was just a nightmare. And it was right in the middle of COVID. And so I have some people that'll, I contract out if I need help standing parts, I need help doing body work. Like I'll always find I'm not always the best at that. I'm always looking for someone that's the best at it. And I had people dropping off because I just couldn't get a hold of them in the middle of COVID. So yeah, the bike was kind of a nightmare, but when it was all said and done, it was beautiful. It was a kind of a tangerine orange with some blue graphics on it and stuff. And I was happy when it was done, but I was also really happy when it was out of my shop. So
hey, the truth speaks.
I can draw stick figures. That's about as artistic
I
as
can connect the dots, like kindergarten
a dot, a smile. If I could draw a sun, maybe, but that's about
maybe a cloud with a circle.
I do street graffiti.
You do street graffiti?
I do actually.
But
that's awesome.
When did you first realize that you had this talent? Because some people have this talent, they don't tap into it. How did you know that, man, I have a talent for artwork?
I was literally, as far back as I can remember, man, to be completely honest, and I'm really lucky in the fact that I have super supportive family. I know a lot of people that, being an artist is not an easy job, man. I ain't getting rich doing it. That's for sure. I'm lucky in the fact that, yeah, exactly. Right. That term, and I'm lucky that I can make a living and I can support myself doing it. But, and, I do something I love, but yeah, I was really lucky that the age I remember, I'm getting in trouble in middle school and elementary school because I was constantly just drawing in class. And my parents would just be like, that's who he is. They never, they always supported me. They got me, if I wanted private lessons to learn oil painting, then I learned oil, they made it happen. And so I'm really, but yeah, literally as far back as I can remember, my parents still have some of these hilarious drawings and they'll show them to me. And I'm like, ugh, throw them away. They're horrible,
But that's your journey. But that's your journey, man. That's that's amazing.
My parents were more pissed because they had to replace school desks because I would decorate it with Sharpies.
Oh yeah. And, I'm a typical boy, right? I don't know how many penises I drew in math books and stuff like that.
Right.
All the stuff, right?
I never drew penises. I drew boobs. Boobs were.
I was just, I wasn't drawing body parts. It was more like decorative alphabets.
Oh yeah, I drew everything. Anything that would get a laugh, right? I was a class clown, so anything would get a laugh.
And a lot of people, Rob, don't understand. It's not only the drawing; it's the matching of the colors, the shades.
Well, there is a story behind
there is so much that goes into it, and especially with airbrushing, there's so much that goes into it. And I don't know what your prices are, but when people turn around and they go, "Oh, well, that's expensive," do you realize the amount of time and effort and work and sitting in that one position to do it? You're getting a custom paint job and you're going to pay the price. You don't want that? Go get your shit wrapped.
Pay for what you get.
Yeah.
Well,
go get it wrapped.
You do pieces I'm assuming
this is art.
It goes with a vibe. Somebody gives you a design that they want, but you get that feeling of the vibe, and you start seeing colors, and you start seeing images of how that vibe's going to come out, and then it's this whole process of how you're going to lay that all out. It's not just that looks pretty. Let me draw that real quick. There's a lot to it. I mean,
Yeah.
continue and like being able to make this like a career. I mean, I'm jealous. That's amazing. I had an art degree, graphic design, all that. And here I am sitting next to Sideshow. So I commend you on.
So it's worked out for both of us. Both of us are living the dream.
Yes.
We're all living a dream.
Yeah.
But
congratulations, Robert, to such a transfer of taking a passion project and turning it into something that, and your ability to, even in my world with you and others that I've seen, the ability to listen to, and yes, there's a business side of it, I'm sure, but to listen to the passion that the person wants, and then
be able to execute,
bridge that into artwork and within the arena of what the person wants. I mean, there's a lot of good artists, but like they just do art and they don't like transfer the person's desires into what a passion project. And so to be able to bridge those two is really unique, even within the world of painting. So that part is what I believe is what Robert's the best at, in the ability to listen. I mean, he's done that with me and others that I've known. So, 100% all the way to the end of my days. Make sure to call Robert if you have a project that you need, and make sure that he puts you on his schedule.
Pete, I just got to shout out to Pete Colley over in the UK. He goes, "Can you come paint my trike, please?" Pete, if you pay for him to come over to the UK, I'm sure he'll do it. But
exactly.
Yeah, Pete.
I've had that happen. I've had people fly me.
Trike.
What's that, Robert? Go ahead.
So I have had people like offer to fly me in to paint projects for them and put me up and fly me out.
That's an honor, bro. I mean, that's something you should be very proud of. That's something nobody wants to fly us anywhere.
No.
Nobody wants to fly.
We're just here in old Bedford, Texas.
That's right.
Bedford, Texas. Hey, come on now. Don't talk about our backyard.
So if somebody wanted to get something done, either a helmet, an instrument, a bike, or whatever they want to get airbrushed or personalized, how do they go about that?
Best thing is just reach out to me on social. I mean, I'm always checking. I get a lot of, people coming at me from Facebook or Instagram, or they can find my email. That's usually the easiest part. I mean, I can throw out my phone number. People can contact me just even through that. I mean, it's my business number, but I just have tell people.
If you want to share that, share that business number, we'll put it up.
It's I'm here in Texas, but it's so the number is 970-201-2717. It's actually still a Colorado number because that's where I moved from, but 11 years ago.
What was the last four on that?
2717.
All right. We're going to put that up on our feed now, so you can contact Robert. And, I'm sure you are probably booked, because it's only you, right?
Yeah, just me.
Doing all the work. So, I mean, book now, book early, because, there could be a waiting game involved, because you do have a lot of projects going on. And you want to do the best for your customers. So, if you're really serious about doing something, get with Rob and, collaborate on something. And one thing you did spark, what you both said something about, like with veterans and our first responders, a lot of their stuff is personalized. And when you can give to a first responder or a veteran, you can bring out that painting that really embraces what he's feeling or what he's been through or his journey, that is the ultimate artwork. That's the ultimate. I mean, because that's something that, this person now looks at their motorcycle, they look at that hockey helmet, they look at their journey of their battles, and they said, you know what? You captured what I was feeling. And that right there is true art. And I thank you for that, Rob.
Thank you.
For sure. I love working with all the first responders. I actually play on a first responder hockey team here in Austin, and also with the military team from Fort Hood. So I love all those boys and take care of them any chance I can.
Well, I hope you're going to come up for the hops and props for our veteran.
He's going to be there
for our aviation beer drinking veteran party here.
Extravaganza.
And May 3rd, if you want, come on up for Indian Motorcycle. We're going to be doing the 1940s and 50s pinups and pistons over at Indian Harley Davidson.
What the hell is that?
Wait a second. Come on now.
Fort Worth Indian Motorcycle.
Newsflash. What?
I knew what you were doing. I knew what you were saying.
Freudian slip there. But you know,
Demerit.
yeah, let me know if you want to come up. We'll make sure we have a spot for you next to the 99% Radio Network broadcasting booth,
Definitely.
and you can show off everything as well.
Heck yeah, I'm in.
All right.
Here in pinups,
Brother,
I'm in.
You stay
Thanks,
well,
guys.
stay blessed, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. We'll be in touch.
All right.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Robert Howell with Sun God Graphics over in Austin. Look him up. His number's on our feed. Go to sungodgraphics.com. You can check him out. You can also see some of his amazing artwork on his webpage. Go to his Facebook page. He's got even more there. So, paths cross for a reason. And
Absolutely.
Your path crossed with him for an amazing reason. And, you guys really make a good partnership.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been blessed so much. So thank you. I'm so grateful to know him. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Don't pat him on the back too much. We're going to be bringing up is Mongo on? All right, Mongo's. We're going to be doing a Mongo log. We're going to keep Mongo up to see if his audio works, to make sure that for the last 2 weeks, California's been putting a tinfoil or blocking his way of because he's bringing in the true news through his perspective. Let's bring on Mongo with the Mongo log.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfect.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Mongo.
All right. So we're not going to do the introduction. We're just going to go straight to it, right?
We're going to go straight through it. We don't want any flubs. Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's go.
Right, so today's Mongo log it's my interpretation of the entitled generation. Today's generation has only seen prosperity. They have no contrast. They didn't live during the Great Depression or live through 2 world wars, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and they didn't see the rise and fall of socialism and communism. Today's generation is blind to the prosperity around them. Today, if one would scroll through their news feeds on their phones looking for the latest headlines, they will see political figures calling for policies to fix so-called injustices of capitalism. One might buy into the illusion that we are actually suffering. We live in the most privileged time, in the most prosperous nation. The problem is we have become completely blind to our own prosperity. Virtually no one in the United States is considered poor by global standards. Yet in the time where we can order a product off of Amazon with just one click on our smartphone and have it delivered to our doorsteps the next day, we are unappreciative, unsatisfied, and ungrateful. Today's generation is being indoctrinated by the mainstream news media narrative to actually believe that we have never seen prosperity. The lack of appreciation is evident as the popularity of socialistic policies among the younger generation continues to grow. Congresswoman Alexia Ocasio-Cortez recently said to Newsweek, while talking about the millennial generation, that an entire generation, which is now becoming one of the largest electorates in America, has come of age and never seen American prosperity. That is just mind-boggling statement of bullshit coming from this congresswoman who got her start dancing on rooftops while employed as a barmaid wearing tight-fitting t-shirts. The fact that that t-shirt was a Boston Red Sox shirt was also, in my opinion, quite disturbing. We are not a poor nation. We are a nation that has forgotten what it was like to be poor. Our grandparents and our parents lived in a different United States, a poorer United States. Our grandparents and parents are part of the greatest generation. My generation is part of the baby boomers. We benefited from the sacrifices of the preceding generations. There was no doubt a fair share of social strife that occurred during my generation, but we came through it. Contrary to what the mainstream media will have you believe, we've grown and moved past it. Make no mistake, our society is by no means perfect, but the mainstream media would love to paint a much darker picture than our true reality. We added to the groundwork started by our parents. We helped build this country, and through all of our efforts, our nation began to thrive. People don't leave the United States to be by the boatloads to seek a better life for themselves and their families somewhere else. It's actually just the contrary. They arrive on our shores seeking a better life for their families. Over the past 4 years, hundreds of thousands of people have crossed our borders illegally under the last president's administration seeking a better life. The Democratic Party has welcomed everyone who wants to come by any means possible. Why would they do this? Because if you open the doors, offer free room and board, as well as the guarantee of free health care, education, and financial assistance, courtesy of a welfare system provided by the Democratic Party and paid for by working Americans, you have a new and energetic voter base. These grateful and oftentimes ungrateful immigrants offer the possibility of control of American politics by the Democratic Party for generations into the future. Over the past 50 years, the silent generations, young adulthood, to that of millennials, today the United States has undergone a large cultural and societal shift. In general, they are better educated, a factor tied to employment and financial well-being. But there is a sharp divide between economic fortunes of those who have college education and those who don't. Millennials have brought more racial and ethnic diversity to the American society. Millennial women, like Generation X women, are more likely to participate in the nation's workforce than prior generations. Millennials are now the second largest generation in the U.S. electorate after baby boomers, a factor that continues to shape the country's politics, given the demographic leanings when compared with older generations. Today's young adults are much better educated than their grandparents, as the share of young adults with a bachelor's degree or higher have steadily increased. Gains in educational attainment have been especially steep for young women. Looking ahead at the next generation, every benchmark shows Generation Z, those ages 6 through 21 in year 2018, is on track to be the nation's most diverse and best education generation yet. Here's the problem, however, with today's youth. On average, they may indeed be better educated. However, what are today's younger generations doing with their education? Many of them do indeed venture into the world and begin responsible and independent lives contributing to society. That is not true, however, of everyone. Many young people today take it for granted that the self comes first, and many experts have labeled this time as a narcissistic epidemic, stating that we are living in an age of entitlement. Because they are self-absorbed and lacking empathy for others, the current generation is one of the most self-centered, narcissistic, competitive, confident, and individualist generations in history. It's not surprising that this growing self-service is accompanied by a corresponding devaluing of others. So why is this the case? Well, if I were to hazard a guess as to why, most would relate to the increase and exposure to and the use of social media. For example, many in this current generation have had repeated lifetime exposure to violent video games and films. There's a growing body of research suggesting that the video games are cause of increased aggressive behavior, thoughts and feelings, and a decrease in empathy and pro-social behavior across both gender and culture. Obviously, any overbroad statements about an entire generation are not true of every person in that generation. Clearly, there are young people today who are deeply empathetic and caring. Many of us know what life was like to live without the internet. We don't know, however, what it was like to live without cars and without smartphones, the internet, and social media. Those things have become such a large part of Western society that we have almost forgotten what it was like without them. Our society certainly doesn't have a lack of prosperity problem, but we do have an entitlement problem, an ungratefulness problem, and it's spreading like a plague. Many basic but important life skills have skipped a generation due in part to a manufactured panic over COVID. They are critical and indeed important skills, and that will follow our workforce of tomorrow into their adult lives and careers. Today's young people need to see how learning to read proficiently is not just something that we have to do to make our teachers happy. It's a key ingredient in their ability to create a fulfilling life as adults. It's possibly one of the skills that has been lost on the generation, but is very important for their development. Today's youth often struggle with personal relationships because they have grown up communicating through screens and relating to others from a distance via text messaging. They are more comfortable communicating through text than even over a telephone, and all too often avoid awkward face-to-face interactions. They must also learn conflict management skills. It's unrealistic to think that life can be free of conflict. Oftentimes, the best innovations are the result of a lively debate resulting in fresh ideas. They also need to learn accountability skills. Too often, today's youth have been rewarded for outcomes rather than for effort. Unfortunately, this reinforces a preference to avoid the hard things and instead seek successful achievement for easier things. They need to develop the skills to make sense of things. They are bombarded every day with news media, social media, and information from multiple sources. They have the data of all the world's knowledge at their fingertips, but they need to develop the skill, as do we all, to discern what is credible and what isn't. Finally, they need to develop resilience. Unfortunately, too many seem to be fragile in terms of their well-being and their self-esteem. If they are to be successful, they must learn to face hardships, the hardships of life, which will inevitably include disappointment. And that, my friends, is that. Whiskey improves with age, and I improve with whiskey. My name is Mongo. Whiskey goes in and wisdom goes out. I smoke cigars and I know things. Mongo is out, and now back to you in the studio.
Welcome back to 99% Radio Network. Thank you, Mongo, for that. Definitely, that's his perspective, and but it is true, man. We are communicating. Our youth is communicating through touch screens, and there's no emotional bonding anymore.
It's a struggle with my 9-year-old.
It is, and there is no emotional connection, and I think that's going to hurt generation after generation. We have to bring back the emotional connection, the human connection again to our youth to really make them thrive. What's really hard
is that, like, with the kids, because I have a 9-year-old, he's in 4th grade, and a lot of them, I wasn't going to give him a phone for a long time. Every other kid had one. So, like, they get influenced, and then you feel like you're the bad mom because you're not letting them do certain things, and then they get stuck in this screen. But that's what all the kids are doing because they're all communicating on this game because they could talk to each other during the game, and it's hard to get them. I'm not gonna lie. I bought him a mini bike, and he still is like trying to get him outside.
That's why you got to limit. You got to limit time. You got to limit the time that they spend online, or that you limit the time on their phone, and let them get out and play and be kids, and fall and skin their knees and get cut up and play in the mud and do all this stuff. Because now they're building up their immune system, they're building up their resiliency, they're building up, and they're growing, they're learning. But if they're sitting on the couch constantly on a screen, they're going to have health problems later on. They're going to have
the thing. I'm like, you got to do your chores before you do anything. You got to buy your time. You got to buy your video time. When you do your chore, you get 30 minutes. So trash, 30 minutes, yard, 30 minutes, dog poop, 30 minutes.
30 minutes for trash. How much trash do you have in your house?
No, I mean, like, that's the time he gains. Like, he gets that task done. Well, I got 3 dogs, 2 pit bulls, and a Rottweiler. I mean, there's a lot of,
Yeah. It's just, that's, and it's a double-edged sword for a parent because now our social media turns into a babysitter, because parents are working or
a babysitter.
Well, parents are working or cleaning the house or doing whatever they got to do, running their chores, and the parents just go sit on the couch and do this stuff. So it is kind of a double-edged sword. You really gotta you got to work on that. So, well, thanks for the great monologue, Mongo, and we will see you next week. You know, Glen, you and Robert have a great bond, but Glen Larson Law, thank you guys so much for being part of the 99. And you guys got some amazing things coming up as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
But what I wanted to ask you, and I want to bring to our, what I want to bring to our listeners, which is really, really important, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. You know, as a cop, law enforcement, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law, right? That's what they tell you, right? When you get hurt, when you're injured, anything you say can be used against you in a civil court, correct?
Yes, with several exceptions.
Okay.
Right?
You know, so I mean,
but not if you hire a lawyer day one.
Right. Exactly. That's why the first call should be after the ER should be.
You know, I mean, that's look. There's a lot of lawyers that say that stuff, but here's the deal. Back 100 years ago, a butcher was a butcher, a roofer was a freaking roofer, and you did what you were good at in the trades or whatever it was, and the blue collars that built this country. Okay, and just in our world, we always tell people, hey, you made the right decision to call, because there's a lot of people have had negative experiences dealing with lawyers, right?
Yes.
Let's just call it out like it is. And, you know, there's a difference between what we do, right? You know, a podiatrist, you don't want somebody that works on your foot doing your brain surgery, okay? You don't want a family law lawyer handling an injury thing, all right? So just give us a call. And we'll guide you through the process. The bottom line is, you know, unless you're really good and handy, like some of my family members are that know how to put a roof on their, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. Okay. So call the specialist, whatever it is. You know, if you're looking for, you know, a certain type of special a moment in your life where you're going to a wedding or something really important, or you know, something for some really celebratory moment, you're gonna probably try to save up a little money and go get yourself a really nice outfit.
Right.
This is the same thing. You got to call the specialist, period, every single time, and don't hesitate to do it, because unfortunately, especially in the world of motorcyclists, they are out there to do it. And when you're injured, which is what I was going to talk about today, you might have had a head injury, and your judgment is likely off big time. And so many head injuries go undiagnosed, and I'll be talking about that next time, and what are some of the warning signs to look out for head injuries. And just because your brain MRI is not normal, I'm not a doctor, but I've done this for 18 freaking years. And I pretty much, if your loved one is not the way they were the day before the wreck or the minute before the wreck, and they're saying all kind of crazy stuff, get them to the emergency room right away, because they might be bleeding on their brain. I've seen it happen. It happened to me. A guy fell off of a roof in Virginia, and I went to go meet with him and sign him up, and I looked, and he was going 100 miles an hour like I am right now. Okay.
You got a brain injury?
No, I did have a concussion in my life. That was another chapter. We'll talk about that another day. But mood swings, you know, little subtle things, speech issues, or just all over the place. There's so many different things: blurred vision, loss of sleep, of course, different things like that. But really, the cognitive issues that, wow, he doesn't seem right. That man, when I signed him up as a client in Virginia one time, the next day, his wife took him to the emergency room, and he was bleeding on his brain. He had a craniotomy and almost died. He was saved, and thankfully, we connected, and the doctor saved his life. But the bottom line is, brain injuries are nothing to joke about, and they're very many times undiagnosed. Hence, all of the athletic injuries that are out there that we all know about now, or no, we all are starting to know about.
Right.
Is the bottom line.
And that's why you said a couple of weeks ago, and this is why it's so important, not only for the person who gets injured, it's so important for the family member to connect, because sometimes the injured person can't connect. And the family member, you said you spent many times in the hospital speaking with the family members and trying to grab information. That's why it's so important for you as a spouse or a loved one to know the details on the injury.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's all about protecting the human connection, which is a common theme that we've all talked about today. And what I'd like to say here towards the end is there's really one common, I'm transitioning right now, if you haven't hinted that, okay? So there's one common theme amongst all this, whether you're passionate about PTSD projects, passionate about supporting different projects in upstate New York that we heard about today, passionate about all these different things that we all talk about today. There's one common thing, and that is belief. Belief, belief, belief. If you, as the leader of the project, or the leader of your organization, or the leader of your family, or one of the leaders of your family, like in my family,
Your wife's a leader.
you have to have the ultimate vision yourself in your core of what you believe in. And this goes back, I'm not, my family, we have a thing, Thanksgiving, and whoever brings up politics talks about, goes to wash all the dishes. Okay. And I've got a big East Texas family.
That's a good,
okay.
I like that.
But sometimes I'm like, man, we've been sitting here for 3 hours. I'm going to bring up politics so I can get up off this chair and go wash the dishes. Okay. But what I'm about to say is really not politics. It's just more history. Okay. Back in the days of John F. Kennedy, when the Russians, landed on, did their deal. See, I got all screwed up, even though I'm a history major. When they did Sputnik and all that, John F. Kennedy said, we're going to the moon. And he had a vision as a leader, and a lot of people, including science, NASA, the new science, the new space program that was just getting started. And many of the scientists said that's not possible. And the bottom line is he had a vision that was beyond the horizon. And so as we sit here today, all of us have passion projects. And I encourage everyone that if you have a passion project, look at the sunset and think about the sunset beyond that sunset. And what I mean by that is focus on the result. Then why? Why is why is it so important for me to connect with my children and not have them, on their phones today? Why is it so important for us to sit here and do this? Why must I call a lawyer right away? Why must I know about PTS? The why project is something I'm passionate about. Because if we know why, and we don't have to question, and there's not confusion in the room, it's really important. Okay. And I'm not preaching about this right now. I just feel very passionate about this. And then we can get into the how. So I've learned the skill, and I'm going to throw this out there. If y'all want to take it, throw it in the trash can or use it. But to-do lists are, how many times have we sat down and done to-do lists, and then we get to the end of the day on a Saturday or Sunday, we're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, and we look back at the day and we're like, where the fuck did the day go? Right? I didn't get shit done that I wanted to do. But if you know what you're after, and then you plan your stuff, and why you want to do it, then you'll get it done. So it's something out there. A lot of people know I'm hinting at the thing called the RPM method. It's what's the specific result, and then what's the purpose of what I'm doing, and then the method or the plan comes after that. Back in the day, before the internet, we all used maps, y'all. Okay. And when I planned ski trips with my friends, I literally found a note the other day, and it just got a little funny thing in my car.
Can I just stop you for 1 second?
Yeah.
All right. I know they told you to talk louder to the mic, but you're doing good.
Okay.
You're doing good.
All right.
And the passion's going good.
Okay, good.
You don't have to be the Mick Jagger.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Cool. I'm learning.
I know you're good. You're good. It's
So
I know. I was
the
like,
bottom line is,
I'm like, this is passion, man.
So I go back to the concept of the map, and what I mean by that is I hinted at it earlier today. Connect the dots. Okay. So what I'm saying is, whatever you're passionate about in your life, just make a map, and then follow, and then that direction will flow to you. And so I'll be talking more about those things. But in our world of injury lawyers, and with Robert and everything we do, just make sure that the lawyer you choose to handle your situation has the ability to tell your story and connect with you as a person first.
See, and that's one thing, Glenn, that's why, like with you, I mean, with the 99% Radio Network, when we connected with you at the golf outing,
sure.
When you talk about some lawyers, they just want to take your case and move on. You
it's
have
a transaction, yeah,
right, like just a regular cashier transaction. You have a passion for this. You could have probably went into any law you wanted to, but you're a people person. You care about those who are being done wrong or have been injured, and you have a compassionate heart for the family and for service. And you want what's right. You want to do what's right by the person who was hurt, because in an accident, there are sometimes people at fault, and maybe you shouldn't have been hurt, right?
Right.
So
by the way, we don't use the word accident. It's not an accident that it happened, but that's another comment.
Yeah, but you take this passion and you put this drive into your cases, and that's what you want. You don't want some attorney who is court appointed or whatever. I use it from law enforcement. They don't care about it. They don't care about your case. They just care about the result. You care about the case. You care about the people.
I do, and I care about the knowledge and the science and all the other information. Is this working?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good.
And just to kind of give you some data out there for folks in the world of we talked about earlier, the world of addiction to gaming. I'll give you a piece of information that I found out recently, and I handle a lot of those types of cases too. Those are called mass torts.
Were they?
But the bottom line is, the companies that design video games, most of them consult with companies that make certain machines that are extremely addictive in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And, back in the day, some of the social media platforms did not have an infinite scroll. Who did they get that information from? IGT, who designed slot machines in Australia. And so those bad guys that addict our children consulted with the machines that addict people to slot machines, period. There's nothing wrong with going to Vegas and having a good time, but you should all know that those platforms out there that are addictive to our children are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And to think otherwise is different. We're using social media, and it's a double-edged sword, right? It's very helpful for information like we're using right now. And that's where it should stop. The other thing I want to say too is one little sort of tidbit on law, and I'm kind of jumping around a lot. Hadn't had my 4:30 coffee yet, so I can stay up till midnight working. But here's the bottom line. I'm passionate about a single thing in law, and this is it. This is what it is. Rideshare drivers, when they are doing their work, it's not their fault that the rideshare companies designed their algorithms of their platforms to basically allow texting and driving. How many of us have been sitting in the back of an Uber or whatever, and we see the driver clicking all these buttons and stuff, right? You telling me that's not texting and driving? It fucking is, okay? And I don't care what it is. I'll make it my personal mission. That's why we handle a lot of cases against rideshare companies, and we will continue to hold them accountable. And we've done so very successfully over the years, and we're going to continue to do it. So that platform, because what happens is, I've talked to the Uber driver, if they're not picking the next ride while they're driving, then when they get to drop you off, they're shut out of that, and they're waiting for God knows how long to get another ride. So that software is addictive and corruptive to our society, and is basically allowing people to text and driving, and they're getting away with it because it's, quote, an app, and it's not texting. Bullshit.
I never even thought about that. I never thought,
but it makes sense.
It makes 100% sense. I never thought about, because you jump in the back of an Uber or a Lyft or whatever, and you always see him touching it.
Yeah.
The correlation. You don't have to be sitting on your phone like that. You're becoming distracted by that screen.
Second phone in front of their face.
Right. You're being distracted by that
the motorcycle that's right in front of them.
Right.
Don't get me started.
But these are things that, and getting back onto the addiction aspect, the clickbait, and they follow your algorithms, and they find out what you like.
Congratulations, you're on fire, right?
they mess with your mind so that you're going to
right?
Constantly do it. Woo.
All right.
Little passion.
Little passion. Just make sure to give us somebody a call, just like you would. And the biggest mistake that people do is they think that they're okay when they didn't break a leg, but then they've got injuries and they wait a couple of weeks and they don't go to the ER. Mm-hmm. Go get medical attention. If you don't have access to medical care, call us. Call a good lawyer. Most of us can introduce you to good, and help you connect to get medical attention and make sure you're taken care of.
On that note, real quick on that note, because a lot of people, if say they fall on their bike, right, and they don't, mostly, I'm not. Yeah,
bicycles are super dangerous.
But I'm not hurt. I'm just going to pick up my bike and I'm going to go. Is it very important
or
to go
motorcycles? Yeah.
Is it very important to go get that medical attention? To even if they say you're get a
the
clean
number
bill of
one
health?
thing,
documented, yeah.
The documented.
Yeah, the number one thing I hear, especially with bikers and motorcyclists of all types, oh, I'm all right, I'm lucky, because they're so grateful that they didn't break their leg, right?
But they're still in a little
but
shock.
what
And they're
happens
too
is
proud
they're
to
in
go to the
shock, they're
hospital.
too proud, they don't want to mess with it, they think it's complicated, and the
Put some
insurance
Windex on it.
companies make all this stuff really confusing, these apps and all this weird stuff. No, it's not confusing. Just get somebody to help you, just like you would do, like I got to do tomorrow, get a plumber to figure out why my shower is not draining. Okay. So, or run a camera down it to figure out what's going on. Right. So just get a professional. Bottom line is, yes, that's a very common thing. And I don't want to ever meet someone. It happens all the time. I got a call yesterday. They said, "Hey, I'm really hurt." When did it happen? 6 weeks ago. Okay. Well, I mean, they might really be hurt.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the insurance company will attack their case left and right if they don't go to the emergency room in the first 24 to 48 hours. That's the bottom line.
Wow.
Or get some medical attention. They'll say, Glenn made it all up, even though the person's legitimately hurt, and they'll tell them they're faking it, and they're not faking it. And the irony is that some people are trying to, they're trying to be normal upcoming citizens.
I think the biggest thing for
people
people not going to the ER is financial reasons.
Yeah. So, there are other access points to medical attention that are out there, and including, my firm and others.
I mean, they can't deny you if you go in. You're going to get help no matter what.
But it's a catch-22. We can spin on for another 12 hours about that, right?
Because I've been there.
So, just give a call to a specialist in this situation and call an injury law firm. Do not call your buddy that's a lawyer that does contracts.
He's right here. We know him.
See, and all you got to do, it's really simple. Take a quick 5 seconds and put in Glen Larson Law and the phone number. I don't have it written down.
737 The Wolf is one of our main numbers. And you can reach us at that number at any time. Yeah. We're ready to serve.
And that's all you got to do, man. Just keep it in your phone. It's in your phone. Now, if you ever have an accident, boom, you hit that button. You're already connected, and you're connected, protected, and covered.
I like it.
Connected and protected.
Appreciate you.
Glenn, thank you so much.
You,
before we bail out today,
I'm going to say happy birthday to my mom. Her birthday is
on. Happy birthday.
You said that.
But I'm
we
saying it again. It's my mama, though.
But we sang it.
Did we? I know, but still, it's my mama.
She's not going to love you anymore.
Yes, she will.
Hops and Props 426 on April 26th at the Fort Worth Aviation Museum. Come out and support our veterans. A lot of warbirds out there. It's going to be about 15.
It's a beer fest with warbirds.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat it. It's the ultimate beer flight.
You can go on a beer flight.
We need to do a beer flight and sample beers.
You sample beers
live
over in one of the warbirds.
We're looking forward to it. Robert and I are going to be there.
Yep. And then Indian Motorcycle, along with the 99% Radio Network and the Battling Betties, are going to be hosting pinups and pistons over at Indian Motorcycle in Fort Worth.
Food trucks, pinup contest. We got a bike show, car show, loudest pipes. Look at our
but it's 1950s now. This is not
classic.
No bikinis or thongs.
Lingerie.
This is classic 1940s and 1950s
Red,
retro
white,
pinups,
and
man.
retro.
We want to get our old-time World War II veterans out there, and we want to make them proud of this generation that we remember theirs.
Yes.
All right.
Check
us out on Facebook and check out all our guests that was here today. And if you could be anything in this world, be kind. Peace.